My dear viewers and subscribers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to take you through the process of brooding chicks from day 1 up to the time when they are old enough to get out of the brooder, which is one of the essential stages in the life of poultry and in poultry farming. So this is my brooder. This building is basically a brooder. So this is my brooder. It's an averagely medium-sized building that has several sections. Each section having birds at different ages. So I have birds that are 10 days old in a section. I have birds that are 4 days old in a section, and then I'm also preparing another section where I'm going to receive birds tomorrow. So just keep watching. So my dear viewers and subscribers, this is one of the 3 sections that I was telling you about. This is a section that I'm preparing because I'm receiving day-old chicks tomorrow. Just like I told you, the whole of this building is a brooder. I have 3 sections. I have a section across where I have 10 days old chicks. I have a section the other side where I have 4 days old chicks. And I have this section that I'm preparing where I'm receiving chicks tomorrow. So when we are preparing a brooder, we have in mind that we have to regulate the temperatures. So in this brooder, as you can see, this is tarpaulin that we have used in order to cover the brooder and prevent loss of temperature, prevent loss of heat. And then we are preparing the ground. First of all, we cleaned the ground and then we poured wood shavings. These are wood shavings that we poured. And then after pouring wood shavings, now we are laying boxes. So we put boxes on top of the wood shavings, such that when we receive the day-old chicks, then they will be basically staying on top of these boxes, which boxes are also on top of the wood shavings. This will help to create a very good surface, a very clean surface for the birds once they come. Remember, before we reached this level, we started by disinfecting the whole of this house. So this house is disinfected with jik, and we assume that by disinfecting, then the microorganisms, the bacteria and the viruses were killed. And these birds that we are receiving, which are also assumed to be healthy, are coming into a healthy environment. Here, subscribers and viewers, this is my second section where I'm doing brooding. In this section, I have chicks that are 4 days old. This is dual-purpose breed, and I would like to take you through a bit of details about brooding. So there are mainly 4 factors that we consider when we are brooding. The first one is hygiene, sanitation. So you have to clean the brooder. You have to disinfect it with disinfectants like jik before you bring in the chicks. And then, alongside disinfection and biosecurity, then you clean the surface, you clean the room where the chicks are going to be, and then you lay the boxes. As you can see, we have boxes here that we laid, and then these boxes are sitting on top of wood shavings. So we prepared a clean environment for the chicks before we received them. Sanitation and hygiene is factor number 1. And then factor number 2 that we consider in brooding is the factor of heat. So these chicks, as soon as they are hatched, they are not able to regulate their own temperatures. Their bodies do not have enough feathers. So you have to regulate the temperatures. So in this brooder, what we do is that we get a pot. This is a pot. And then we put charcoal, and then we put fire. Now, we put in the fire and regulate it depending on the surrounding environment and the temperature in the surrounding environment. So during the night or during the day when the weather is very cold, we put in fire. But during the day, when the weather outside is very hot, we put little fire, or sometimes, depending on the stages of the chicks, we may not put fire at all. But how do we tell that this is the time to put fire and this is the time not to put fire? I would like to tell you that these chicks talk. They have a language that they talk. So they themselves will behave in a manner that will tell you that we need heat or we don't need heat. So when you see them crowding around the source of heat like this pot, then you have to know that they are feeling very cold and they want fire. And when you see, after putting fire, when you see them moving into corners very far away from the pot, then that's an indicator that the fire is too hot and they cannot withstand it, and that's why they are going into the corners. So you regulate the temperatures, you regulate the fire depending on the behavior of the chicks. And as the chicks grow, as they go into the second week, the third week, and the fourth week, we reach a level where they actually do not even need fire when they start developing their own feathers and they're able to regulate their own temperatures. So heat, temperature, is the second factor. And then the third factor is light. As you can see in this brooder, we have light. This light is being provided by a solar panel, a solar system that I connected. So these chicks in this brooder, for them to eat well, for them to move happily, they need a source of light. And actually, under normal circumstances, the better the light, the higher the growth rate of the chicks. If you don't put enough light, then they will not eat enough food, and then the growth rate will be affected. So that is factor number 3. Light in a brooder is very essential. Factor number 4 is the quality of food, and the quantity of food, and the quality of water, and the quantity of water. So here we have feeders. Of course, these are the broilers that are making 10 days. So as you can see, the feeders that I have provided are different from this improvised feeder, which is a tray of egg that I am using in 4 days old chicks. And in 1 day old chicks, we basically begin with trays, and then we put the feed in the trays because the chicks are too young. They cannot feed from the bigger feeders. And as they feed from these trays, after several days, as they mature, then we introduce now the bigger feeders, because now they are old and they're able to feed from the bigger feeders. So you maintain hygiene, sanitation, biosecurity. Number 2, you maintain the temperatures and regulate them accordingly. Number 3, you maintain the light and regulate it accordingly. Number 4, you ensure that you have adequate food and you feed the birds appropriately depending on the stages. And you have adequate water and you give them appropriate water appropriately according to the stages. Thank you.